Hey guys, happy Friday, happy end of the week, and welcome to Behind the Shot. And you know what? We're here. This is our final episode for the season. Just for the season, not for the show itself. So that is good to hear. It is a bit bittersweet for me now going 23 episodes, and it has been a regular thing for me for the past 2 months. I
Hey
really don't
guys,
know now
happy
what I'm going to
Friday,
do.
happy end of the week, and
I'm I don't know what I'm gonna do now when it comes to my Monday, Wednesdays, and my Fridays. So anyway, yeah, welcome to Behind the Shot. I'm still a bit how do you say this? Medyo lutang pa na this is going to be the last episode, but it is. But it's an amazing episode though. We have something great in store for you today. I think it's a good bookend to a long running season, I would say. So there you go. My name is Noel Guevara. I am the host of Behind the Shot. And for those of you who don't know me yet, I am a conservation and wildlife photographer and filmmaker. If you want some context of my work, you can visit on me on Instagram, Noel Guevara Photo. Please head on over and yeah, follow me there. And if you like wildlife, like elephants, sharks, and rays and sea turtles, then I think you're gonna like what you're gonna see there. So yes, so please follow me on Instagram, Noel Guevara Photo. Behind the Shot is a show wherein top visual storytellers get to showcase their best three shots, whether it's film, video, photo, or whatever, or segments, and they get to discuss the great stories behind them. So that is the core of the show, which is to uncover what went into taking some of the most iconic shots, iconic sequences, and having that artist talk about that particular work. Now, we have some people here in the chat room. So we have Mabel, who has been with us since episode one. Thank you very much for that. So, comment is last episode for the season, and directing her comment to Chum, who is also here. What are we gonna do every 5 p.m. MWF after this? Uh, yeah, and then Outdoor MD is also here, and there is a lot of pressure, I would have to say, in making this last episode a really great one, but at the same time trying to follow up with an even more awesome second season. So that has been something that we've been discussing and talking about lately. Season two, I'm not sure when it's gonna come out, but it's in the works right now. We're doing some of the legwork. We have some sponsors who came up and asked if they can be part of the next season, and that's great. At least we know that there's some sort of traction. But I have to say thank you to everyone who has been keeping tabs on Behind the Shot, who has been watching, whether it's every so often or every episode since start of May, I believe. So like Chum, Mabel, my wife Pam, VJ, Ram, those guys who have been watching all the episodes. Thank you very much for bringing us to our last episode. And of course, I have to say thank you to Deity Microphones for Deity Microphones Asia for supporting this germ of a show when it didn't even have its first episode yet. So what I did was I just proposed to them, the concept of the show, and they jumped right in and supplied the hardware for it. So like right now, I have the D3 Pro, which I have been using for this live online talk show. I also have the more expensive and more higher end S Mic 2, which I use for my vlogs, and also the VLAV, all of which I've used not just in the studio but also outside on my assignments. So I don't find it that difficult to recommend Deity microphones because I really believe in them and I have used them, tried and tested in the toughest conditions, and they have this show is a testament to that, to the quality of audio that you get from Deity. So yeah, so for you guys who are on YouTube, please do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. The primary platform of Behind the Shot has always been YouTube. YouTube is our main platform, but Facebook Live is more of a teaser stream. So we sort of do a simulcast, but maybe somewhere down the line we cut the Facebook stream and then we invite everyone over to um, the YouTube platform. So if you are watching this on Facebook and you can now transition to YouTube, please do. It's much better there. The lag is shorter, and also I can see all the comments almost immediately. And our guests can also read the comments if you are commenting on YouTube. So that is indeed much better. So if you can do that now, please do. But if you want to stay on Facebook for the meantime, it's fine. Stay there, and I'll just notify you in the comments if it's time to move to the YouTube stream. So yes, there it is, and that is I've been trying to stretch the intro so that this episode will go a bit longer. I am feeling the separation anxiety for this show, but every good thing must come to an end, and it's not really just goodbye for now. I'll save the waterworks for after the show or much later at the end. So let me introduce the perfect nightcap or bookend to the show, which is this guy, which I'm going to read his intro right now. So, my next guest is a Manila-based photographer who started his career in film, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Film and Audiovisual Communications from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, in 2000. He works across different platforms including art, commercial and editorial work, and collaborations with filmmakers, writers, and visual artists. He enjoys working with artists such as painters, sculptors, and illustrators, and while the bulk of his work is commercial, he manages to invest time and effort in creating art photographs. His passion projects have allowed him to meet and work with some of the country's most renowned artists, most notable of which is Arturo Luz, Philippine National Artist for the Visual Arts, either as collaborators or as their portraitist. In 2019, he co-founded Photo Barrio, a non-profit educational foundation focused on teaching traditional film photography and darkroom printing. In May 2020, he launched Shelter Fund, an initiative for photographers and artists to produce and distribute work during the pandemic. And actually, this is how I met this guy. I've heard of him before, but it is through Shelter Fund that I got really acquainted with him. If I may, before I introduce this guy, because I think Shelter Fund is a very important piece of project. Shelter Fund is a community-based initiative wherein photographers get to sell their prints, and through this Shelter Fund initiative, through the pandemic, and a part of that, a part of what they earn from the print goes into a collective fund, and then that will eventually be divided equally amongst all the participating photographers. What was the mission of Shelter Fund? It was to help fellow photographers who have been having difficulty with their income because of the lockdown and the COVID-19 pandemic. So this was such a great initiative for different photographers to put their work out there, to get some financial assistance in some way, and also to help promote each one. We were talking about it prior to the show starting, and that what was amazing about this initiative is not just because of the altruistic part, it was also because it gave everyone a snapshot of the talent base that exists in the country, and that for me was so amazing to witness. And Shelter Fund was such a great project for me to be a part of, and it has since transitioned to Shelter Fund Art, which maybe I can let our guests talk about it even more. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce and bring onto the show Mr. Jason Quibilan. What's up, Jason?
Hello, hello, hello. Galing mo umintro pa. So impressed. I'm so impressed.
Well,
I didn't realize this was so well thought of and so prepared na ba. So
well, I was sort of
I'm trying to be
rambling
as
at the bit.
prepared.
I was rambling. I have to admit, I was rambling a bit at the start. I had the script for this last episode before your intro, and I just threw it away and just drain. Ano na stream of consciousness na lang kasi I'm kind of feeling that anxiety of this last episode. But what sort of puts me at ease is the fact that you're here to sort of wrap up the show, no? So before anything else, Jason, I would like to ask, what was that? What was the catalyst for Shelter Fund?
Okay. Shelter Fund, kasi at that point, it was around mid-April. Actually, towards the end of April na eh.
Right.
We were starting to feel the pressure of having to start up, but we didn't know whether ECQ was going to continue or not, what was going to happen. So we have the studio to think about, and there's staff to pay salaries. So
Right.
we really had to think of something to do that would yeah, to start up the business side.
Right.
No? At the same time, the pressure was on from the other side, not as me as a business owner, but as a photographer. Yeah, realizing that this is not going to end soon.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got jobs canceled. I have friends. We talk about it. We talk to each other uh, about losing jobs. No, and we don't know when those jobs will come back.
Right.
So having we just recently concluded ano, in February we had a really um, positive run sa art fair Philippines. Me and sila VJ and a host of other photographers, we set up uh, our own booth there. We sold prints,
Right.
which honestly did much better than we ever expected. So that was one of the things that we explored, no, because one, it's zero contact.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask people to send files. I can print, and if we're able to sell them, then that will mean money for the photographer and
Right.
the printing business as well.
Okay.
So that's what started it. We had to figure out how to make ourselves productive again. So the business side and of course the photographer. So once we kind of figured out how we wanted to do it, okay, let's find a way to convince photographers to join the initiative. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that they don't have to spend for anything,
Right.
right? And then just guarantee na we'll do our best to sell their work, to produce it well.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as uh, any of their work gets sold, they get a huge chunk of it. But yun nga, parang add to that the dimension, set aside a percentage for everybody else in the initiative,
Right.
right? Because everyone needs that extra bit of help.
It's
So
true.
what if you don't sell? Diba? That's always a problem. That's
Mm-hmm.
always a worry. But yun, buti na lang, I mean, as far as ano, okay naman yung sales natin sa shelter fund. So, yeah, so that's how it all started.
How was
So
the
it ended up with 130 photographers
Wow.
joining the rest.
I was gonna say nga na your approach to this was also very inclusive. What was the reception like? Did you have to convince photographers, or were they like, after the first 10 they were just coming on to you and saying, yeah,
Yeah,
include me, whatever.
I of course started tapping into yung personal network ko. People
Okay.
I work with,
Right.
and people I was friends with. So it's easier, di ba? Parang, and they know me naman na when I say something na ganito yung gagawin natin, I mean, since they know me, they say, okay, sige, game ako dyan. Madali yan. Go, go, go. All right. So once I had a couple of photographers safely in the initiative supporting me,
Right.
then I could go out. I approached we have this um, zoo. It's called Zoo. It's the
Parang
editorial
editor,
photographers in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Philippines, something like that. Yeah. So it's on Facebook. So once I had like 10 or 20 in the group, that's when I opened it up there. Because
Yeah.
there are a lot more people there that I didn't have any real connection with.
Right.
So if I could say that this guy and that guy and this lady was already included, it
Mm-hmm.
was easy for people to start
Okay.
uh, coming into it. At the
Right.
same time, once I mean it took a while, no. But when we opened June, May 1, and then we started posting stuff, right? Mga bandang mid-May saka pa lang pumapasok yung iba kasi they saw na
Yeah.
it was actually working.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That's
So
true.
I mean we understood that. I mean of course, why would you join something na you never heard of? But
That's true.
okay naman, okay naman. I
That's
think in
how
the
I felt
end,
with the
marami.
show. So, so sige. So that was, but Shelter Fund, as for photography, ended I think May 31, diba? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
So we'll go back to that later. No, after your fourth art set. During your art set. When we tackle Shelter Fund art naman. So I think that would be a good transition. VJ Villafranca is saying hi, by the way, on the
Yeah.
YouTube link as well. So guys who
Hey,
are
BJ.
on YouTube right now, if you haven't yet, please do like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I always encourage viewers to do that simply because these episodes will be up on my channel forever. So the more the more likes it has, So we have like 18 or 19 current viewers, 19 to 20. I want to see all of those 19 translate into likes, guys. So please hit that like button on the YouTube link. Sorry, YouTube page. Because when that goes up, more people will get to see Jason's work. And, this is what Behind the Shot is all about, amplifying the talent that we have and also giving others a source of inspiration during this very unique circumstance, which is the COVID-19 and the lockdown. So yes, please like this video right now. So yeah, do us a favor. Also, head on over to Instagram and check out Jason Quibilan there. Follow him there. Also, Shelter Fund. It's just Shelter Fund, right? There's no space. It's just one word, Shelter Fund.
Yeah.
So please visit Shelter Fund as well and Jason Kabila. So let's amplify the work of our guests. And you can also check out Noel Guevara photo while you're at it. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the show, Jason. And one thing I have to say about this first thing is that you mentioned that this was your first foray into portraiture. Is that correct? This particular cover?
Okay. Actually, this is my first full, I would say my first full portrait cover.
Right.
Truly, a true portrait. Kasi, this was 2014, right?
2014.
Yeah, it was 2014. By then, I was probably shooting for 5 years now as a photographer.
Right.
And prior to that, I've had covers when I was assisting and then with Business World High Life. Those were my first covers, but they're mostly lifestyle and fashion.
Okay.
Right. So that's an entryway nga. So I'll backtrack a bit if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Lang tayo.
Go for it, man.
Because I started photography 2009. Before that, I was editing videos. Because I'm a graduate of film. So one day I just decided, I was having my morning coffee and I said, look, I think I want to get back into imaging.
Right.
Because editing is post-production work.
Right.
I want to be in front of the process again. Right? So I was having morning coffee and I decided, I think I want to get back into photography. Right? So what I did was the only professional photographer I knew at that time, remotely, was Tom Epperson.
Okay.
At that time, I was playing in a band. It was called Snake Charmer. I used to sing blues rock and play the harmonic, right?
Wow.
So Tom is also a member of the Blue Rats, right? So he's the harmonica player there. Their vocalist, Miss Lang, was a friend of mine. So I asked Mai, you think you can introduce me to Tom?
Right.
So I think it was in Handlebar. They had the gig that, like, a few nights after I decided I wanted to get into photography. And Mai tells me, Jay, Tom is okay to talk to you if you can come to the gig.
Right.
So I don't know if Tom really wanted to talk to me or they just wanted another warm body in the gig. I don't know. But so off I went.
Yeah.
So, in between sets, Tom and I got to talking and told me, yun nga, I told him, hey Tom, I think I wanna learn photography as a commercial photography. So he tells me, okay, I have a shoot tomorrow, Shangri-La, be there at 8 a.m. So this is the very next day. So the next day I show up at the Shangri, we're shooting the spa there. Yeah. So anyway, and that turned into I would say mga 18 months apprenticeship. From that day on, it stretched into 18 months. I was always reporting to him,
Nice.
every day. And from the very beginning, I told him, Tom, look, I'm really trying to learn. I'll consider this my apprenticeship. You don't have to pay me. I was the one who told him, I don't need to get paid. It's not like I don't need money, but I don't need to get paid because I'm learning.
Okay.
So once in a while, if we do a big gig or if the job is tough, then I'll give him something. But it was never, I never demanded any payment. And to his credit, Tom is a really, really good teacher. Plus, he's a really cool guy. So right now, he's one of my closest friends after so many years.
Of course.
So maybe that was 2016, 2007, and then because I remember one of my very first clients was 2009. So as a commercial photographer, I started work 2009.
Right.
Okay, so fast forward to this. So before you get to shooting a cover, you have to start shooting for the inside pages. They have to get to know you,
Yeah.
right? So this is like uh, prior to this, I was shooting for Esquire. One of my first assignments was given to me by KF, Christine Conachère.
Mm-hmm.
She's now
She's
the
with
EIC
Grid.
at Swile. Yeah, she's part of Grid also. And I think the reason why I got called that day was because Paco, who was a super hotshot photographer,
Isn't
and a
he?
dear
Isn't
friend.
he?
Yeah. I think he couldn't make it that day.
Ay, nako,
So
Paco.
KF had to call a backup, and that it went my way. So,
Right.
but that's what we talk about. But KF actually got me my first job at Esquire. So it was a great shoot. After that, Tahimik, and then I got another call, and then um, I think a few months before this cover, they called me in to shoot a still life. It's the first, and I think it's the only still life cover Esquire did. And I think the reason was because at that time I got signed on by Jed Root. That
Okay.
was 2014 as a still life photographer. So it kind of worked out to launch it. So yun. So anyway, after that still life cover, I was kind of nervous. Parang, oh, no one's calling me. You know how it is, right? Parang,
Yeah.
every time you shoot, you get really, I mean, you're excited with the stuff you're doing, and then you're very happy with it, and then the next day you're worried.
Yeah. May anxiety.
Parang,
That's true.
yeah. Parang, did it come out right?
Right.
Whatever. I mean, did I do the right thing? So anyway, I get this call, and they told me to come in, and we had a meeting at Summit. And yun nga, the discussion was they wanted Erwan on the cover
Yeah.
with a pig. No? So at the start we had a few pegs, which was nothing like what ended on the cover.
Okay.
Actually, we had so shoot day comes the studio. We're shooting Studio 1, Studio 2. We had a small area there to hold the piglets. We had 5 actually, and uh, the funny thing is, these guys, no matter how often you wash them, they stink. I don't know why, but they just have this stink. So the whole day, the studio was stinking, and I had one of my assistants constantly washing the pigs, but it still stank. So hassle talaga, hassle. So first part of the shoot, we're trying to go for what we discussed, this layout. Um, so yeah, we were getting what we initially thought would be strong images,
Yeah.
right? So okay, but Erwin was there, was just pacing at the back of the no, Erwin Romulus was the EIC of Esparta.
Mm.
He was just pacing. Hindi. So pressure man.
Oo. Kasi first mo pa na true
Sir.
ano, di ba? Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure.
And Erwin talaga, ano yan, medyo you could feel if he's not getting what he thinks you should be giving him.
Right.
Parang ganon. Okay. So after a few layouts, sabi niya, teka, break. So, break. So, hiwa-hiwalay kami. And then kami ni Erwin, nandun kami sa lounge. We're talking. Parang hindi pa Hindi wala Ano kaya? Ganyan. Tapos I think it was Jerome Gomez was there, Cara Ortiga, and I'm sure I forget other people. But I distinctly remember it was Cara who suggested that, lagyan natin sa ulo. And ako, it's not like it didn't cross my mind, right?
Right.
But, parang it stopped, I stopped it early because, dude, ang baho ng baboy. So, hindi natin, hassle na, parang jahe naman kay Erwan, hindi naman kami close, papalagay yung baboy sa ulo niya, di ba? Pero inisip ko, kung pumayag siya, subukan din natin paharap. We didn't go there, but anyway, he was nice enough to try it. So this is Erwan. There's the pig. If you go through some of the shots, you see that arm behind him. That's Jerome. He was the only guy who could fit exactly behind Erwan to put the pig where it was. No?
Okay.
And so walang Photoshop to. I think there's some slight Photoshopping done to the eyes, but that's it. The pig was there. you could smell it. It was there the whole time, you know. And Erwan was really cool about it. Parang, sige, sige, just post, like you know, like you didn't have that thing on your head.
Yeah.
And then, of course, lechon, diba? So, I distinctly remember this. Erwin said, "Lagyan kaya natin ng mansanas para compete na yung lechon look, diba?
Yeah.
But, you know, let's have Erwan biting it para siya yung
Yeah,
lechon."
ganda. Yeah.
Oo, so wala talaga sa plan yun. We even had to pause because someone had to buy apples.
Right.
And then on the set comes this I think one apple na nakasupot. Alam yung cheap na plastic lang binili lang sa labas. May tama pa nga eh. Yan o. It wasn't the perfect apple. I mean, it was all that we had. Sige, salpak. 2 or 3 shots. That was it. Oy,
Wow.
ganda. And at that time kasi I was shooting tethered. I used the at that time I was using a Mamiya medium format system, digital. So that system needed to be tethered all the time.
Right.
Which meant every shot you took, you could see through a computer, which means that everyone can comment about it as well. So medyo hassle siya. But that's how it was working. And what we would do was, when you have the shot, you think you have the shot, you start laying it out. Dito yung title. No? So, getting the system. And then, once we put in the title, Esquire, okay, that's a cover. Okay now, we were happy now. We knew we had it.
Right.
And so, we were all very happy. Actually, it turned out so well. I mean, everyone was so happy. Erwin decided na, hold on, the same lighting with the everything, put his jacket on, always comes to I always see him in a suit. At that time, Sir Erwin, laging postura yan. And gusto niya ng portrait with the apple.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be his profile picture as the IC for that particular issue.
Right.
And then that stuck. I think hanggang natapos, that was his portrait na. I think
Okay.
change lang nung nagkaroon kami nung sa Ringo. I'll show later on.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Buti rin game si Erwan for this, I have to say. If
Yeah.
super smelly nga nung piglet.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. I mean, iba talaga. And then yun nga, parang hats off. Talagang game naman si Erwan.
I think this is a case study for something that you think of on the fly, no? But I have to ask Jason, this type of project wherein you have that eureka moment during that, how, in terms of if you laid out all your work, no, professional work, portrait, gaano karami doon ang talagang pinlano, and how many, ilang percent it would be, you know what, let's just change it right then and there. I ask because I just want to sort of visualize how it is when you're a professional photographer, where kasi maraming kinakabahan like you, I'm sure, when it wasn't working out, diba? And then we have other photographers who are, oh my god, baka I should try something else.
Yeah. I think as far as covers go, malaki yung chance na what you set out to do doesn't necessarily end up on the cover.
That's
Because which is one of the good things about shooting editorials.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working with a good team. It just means that you can play around. You can
Right.
experiment. You can go beyond what you initially discussed. And you're open about telling each other na this is not working.
Yeah.
We can do better. So yeah, I think don't be afraid to be in a situation where you feel you're not producing the best work yet,
Right.
right? Kasi if you're avoiding that feeling and you just keep telling yourself na no, this is good, then you'll never find out if you can do better,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So I think in this case, this is one of those cases. So, and yun nga, parang it was, I was with some people na I was working with for a while na. So we were able to work around, the difficulties and get to this image.
Okay. It also helps that you have a great team with you rin kasi, diba? Who knows how to work the theme
Absolutely.
and everything.
Yeah.
We have a comment here from Mabel. Such a ridiculously photogenic pig. Now I know why it deserves a special mention in the title. Why there was a pig. It was a bit abstract though to have Erwan and Pig. So actually, when you told me about Erwan and Pig, I didn't think it was an actual pig. I thought you were calling someone else a pig. So parang, sino yung pig kaya niya? And then when you sent it to me, yeah, it's Discover nga pala. But, so walk us through, Jason, your process now when you work on a cover like this one. So let's say this didn't pan out the way it did. How much preparation do you have before an assignment like this one? Do you look for pegs? Do you set on the palettes? Everything? Are you that precise when you plan?
For covers, usually usually people are put on covers because there's a certain context about them that the magazine wants you to pursue.
Right.
Right. So, uh, um, this is a food issue, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Erwan he doesn't want to call himself a chef, but he cooks. So, yan yung context, right? So, building up to that, the magazine, the people, the writers, the editors, they have the art directors. They have Cesc Olonges, I think is art director here, if I'm not mistaken. They have a certain idea now of what they want to produce. So it's most of the time it's up to the photographer to sort out how to get what to from where they are
Mm-hmm.
in their heads to where you should take them or where they ought to end up in on the print.
Okay.
So composition wise, color, lighting, that's all you. That's all. I mean, you show them now. Okay, this is. So we discussed this on a pre-prod. This is somewhat where you want to be, and then when you show up to the shoot, this is my framing. This is my lighting. This is color by background. This is my treatment. So that's all on you. So that's the thing that you have to prepare for.
Right.
Yeah. So para ano ka eh? Para like I like reading, right? I enjoy reading. And what I enjoy most about it is it forms images in my head, right? And that's why sometimes when I watch a movie of, let's say, The Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
good as it was, it's no match to what I
Yes.
imagined it to be,
Usually
right?
that is the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So ako, when I'm trying to shoot something and present it with a concept, that starts playing out in my head. Right? So the image, based on what you tell me, images form in my head.
Right.
And now it's my job to make sure that what's in my head gets to print, gets on paper or whatever we do.
Mhm.
And then you agree na, oh nga, that's it, ang ganda. Right? That's the work I have to prepare for.
Okay. So that is your cover shoot in a nutshell. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Kasi biglang na ba nakita ko si Paco Guerrero kasi sa chat. Kasi hi Paco.
Ay,
That's
nako, si
hilarious.
Paco.
Ay nako. Such a ano talaga.
Si Paco is the is the what I would say yung constant pressure mo yan. Kasi he set the bar really high with his covers for Esquire.
Mhm.
Yan yung mga triple. So maraming ginagawa si Paco doon na nakaka-intimidate eh. So parang and I came in right after him, no? Parang my cover started coming out right after his. And parang shit. Yeah, sorry. But
No,
anyway,
it's fine. It's Paco anyway.
Pressure si Paco. And Paco used to shoot a lot in my studio, and then we're friends. So parang, it was my honor to be following his footsteps. But at the same time, hassle naman si Paco pa susundan ko, diba? Parang, yeah.
So, sabi ni Paco, hi guys, ayan na, thrown under the bus. Well, like Sunny said, Paco, you do upset the curve and you just upset, napaubo ko tuloy when I saw you. So, that speaks volumes. So, guys, welcome again to Behind the Shot. Those who are just joining us, where top visual storytellers share their best work and the great stories behind them. If you haven't yet, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. It goes a long way in helping to amplify the work of my guests. At the same time, if you haven't as well, head on over to Instagram and follow Jason Quibilan. You can see it right down there. His ID for Instagram and mine as well, Noel Guevara photo. And I wasn't able to put Shelter Fund. Please follow it as well. So that was an interesting discussion, no? So, with the Erwan cover. Now, the next one, Jason, was a bit abstract for me, to be honest, when you sent me this, no? So, the Erwan I was really familiar with, and our third set, which was, I would say, more polarizing. I was familiar with that, with your work there.
Mm-hmm.
But with the second one, medyo coming from left field siya. I didn't exactly know what it was and what the work was about. So can you please set this up for us and tell us more before we start discussing it in detail?
All right. Ito, this was um, the concept of the cover is it's an homage nga to the Beatles Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club
Yeah.
Band album cover. So, and it was set during a time when I don't remember why Ringo was so ano at that time, but it was part love. It's a love letter, part apology for what happened to the Beatles when they were here, and we were trying to kind of ask Ringo to come back one more time. It was something like that. So,
Okay.
but from yung, if you take it literally, it was really just a, we wanted to produce a Beatlesque cover nga, no? By following yung texture nung cover nung album nila.
You're right.
So, why this, no? Because it's one of the in my case, in my experience, it was one of the biggest productions in terms of a cover.
Okay.
I mean, you can understand why, no? There are people there, there are a lot of people there, not just the painted guys, but there are a lot of other people there alive who are, celebrities, no?
Yeah.
So, medyo mabigat yung set. And the set itself was was commissioned and executed by Louis Cordero, who's a really good artist also in his own right. So, and it was such a big deal na Esquire actually allowed us to rent a huge space. This was shot in Cubao, in Jeremy Gibbs' studio.
Okay.
We set everything up. I had a lot of big lights. So this is a big set. And I was shooting with a really high-end camera at that time. So Phase 1 IQ 160, I think it was 60 or 80 megapixels. So, because I was telling them naman, parang we have to, at that time, when people were shooting with like 24 megapixels, it's a big deal. And in medium format. So the reason why is because I really needed to make sure that we captured all the details. Because there are a lot of small things there that Louis put in to get the effect that we were going for. So what I didn't realize was at that time, while we were prepared for it, while we were ready to do the shoot, we didn't realize how big of a production it was. I didn't realize that Erwin actually planned the party around it. It was a big party. It wasn't a shoot. I mean, there's a party going on around the shoot.
So it was a party first, a shoot second, parang ganon.
I don't know actually to this day. I don't know what happened, but we were in the middle of a party while we were shooting. So people were drinking, people were laughing, beso, happy all, and we're all, how are we going to do this? And it was hot, and we were asking people to get dressed. And when we got to the set, the day, a few days before, I did a test for the lighting, and then kind of mocked people up where they would, but I didn't exactly know who was coming in.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just knew Erwin was inviting a bunch of people who were going to be on the cover. But other than that, hindi ko alam kung sino sila. So I didn't know how they would relate to each other, how I should block them, if there were any sensibilities I should be taking care of or be conscious of. So yun. So everyone, okay, shit, nandito si ganito. And it's saying, oh no, man, release na ganito. There's this nice lady, yan. So that was it before the people came in, right?
Right. So this is the set, This is the set. Who designed the set again?
Louis Cordero.
Louis Cordero, okay.
So...
Pero Jason, wasn't it a bit better for you since it was a party? Didn't that put you at least at ease? You get to drink. Did you at least drink as well? Like VJ is saying now, shoot first, then party after. But I'm sure you were dabbling into it.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, everyone could have fun, should have fun, but I was the only one there who had the responsibility of producing the cover,
That is true. Yeah.
right? I mean, everyone was drinking. Everyone, I was drinking. Although I think I started drinking after,
Okay.
but everybody else was drinking. I'm not gonna say the staff was drinking too, but they probably were. So it was that kind of vibe. But I had to keep my head because if I couldn't make the excuse that we couldn't come up with a nice cover because everyone was drunk.
Right. That's
Diba?
true.
Parang problematic yun. So, I mean, pan back. Go back one image, bro. So yeah, that's the stuff.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. And wasted na lahat at that time. This was after the shoot, of course. So, anyway, what was happening was, um, but to their credit, the staff, everyone from Esquire was very helpful.
Right.
So, but parang we had to clear people out because a lot of people were standing up in front of the camera like this, not realizing I was behind
Yeah,
them,
that you were shooting.
right?
Oo.
Oh, so we had to have people, hey guys,
May
and
ushers ka pa. Tabi po, tabi po.
and you couldn't lose your cool, bro. I mean, you had to be nice the whole time.
That's true.
Kasi,
Okay.
party vibe, eh. You couldn't be a dick shouting like a dictator. Get out of my set.
Right.
You can't push it like that there. So, guys, nice, we're shooting na, please, kaya. So, and you had to tell these people individually, okay, can you move this way? And you had to shout across,
Yeah.
And you can see here yung mga BTS na ang dami talagang tao. Ang
Yes,
dami
yes.
talagang tao.
So these photos no were taken by Tammy David no. So thank you
Yes,
for
of course, yeah.
for
Thank you, Tammy
contributing
David.
the
Yeah,
set
yeah.
no. She sent like I think 160 images na I had a fun time going through. And I noticed that iba pa yung hairdo mo nun. What went
May buhok pa.
what went into choosing the people who were up on stage? So I see Army here. And then you had Lucy Torres, and then you also had Ben Chan. What went
Yeah.
into picking those? What was the thinking behind it?
Man, I was out of that process.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I was out. I was just there to make sure there was a cover image now. I was not part of choosing who was there. Some of the people there I didn't know. Kaya nga, it was as far as portrait. This isn't technically a portrait. It was just I just included it because it's a shoot that had all sorts of dimensions to it that people might find interesting.
Oh.
June, so,
Yeah, see, Baya was here also.
you know who? You see that camera there?
Yeah.
That wasn't me. That's not my camera. There's another camera there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Jake Versosa.
Talaga?
Oh, so imagine man the hassle, hindi na hassle, the pressure, di ba? Parang Jake is also there shooting.
Right.
Kung hindi man, but okay, kung hindi man si Jake yan, I'm sure Jake was there. So there are other photographers, there are other people taking videos. There was June doing an episode for something, and this was us. I had a computer setup. That's G, my assistant, the guy in long hair.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the setup. We had the thing on the left, and every time we took a photo, we would look at what we had to make sure everyone looked well, presentable. Kasi you're shooting a lot of people. We can't always be sure that they all look good in one shot, right? So ganyan lagi. And then again, it's a eureka moment. Uy, this one frame na okay, okay sila lahat, magandang expressions. Parang individually, kasi you don't want them all smiling and losing their personality, right? Parang you had Romully there raising his glass. That's very Romully. You had Army there poised. That's how Army looks like. So okay yun. We were able to get a few frames na as far as yung personalities were concerned, lumabas yung individual characters nila. That's John T, the guy behind with glasses, was the managing editor at that time. That's Cez Valdez. I remember Cez was the art director. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
sabi pala ni VJ that si JC Valencia daw yun who was shooting video.
Okay.
And Jake was there.
Okay.
It's interesting kasi Jake
Jake was there.
Yeah, I worked with JC also when he was cam up when I was still directing. Let's take a step back, Jason. No? We kasi our parang how we started seems to run parallel, editors, directors, and then and then you became a photographer. What was it about stills, that made you decide, I want to do this as opposed to a short form or long form?
Actually, I noticed I like setting my camera down and catching the scene still.
Okay.
I don't like a lot of cuts or camera movements. When I was still doing my films, especially in school, so that was I think one of the things that I didn't realize about how I like capturing images.
Yeah.
It's always a locked camera and let the action play out inside that frame.
Yeah.
It's still the same now. If you're going to ask me how I take portraits, one of the first things I take care of is the environment. I make sure that the subject is in an environment that I like,
Mm-hmm.
visually uh, appealing to me, and then the light is correct. And then I don't have to worry about anything else. I just have to focus now on doing the portrait,
Okay.
on my interaction with the subject. So that's how it was always with me. Yeah, I guess it was very natural for me to from motion picture to something that was not moving.
Yeah.
Kasi yun
Yeah.
nga, I just wanted to not move at all. So,
Pero yeah, I really find that interesting kasi konti lang I would say tayo na who moved from video or film into stills kasi I was having this discussion again with Paco Guerrero like a few years back, and siya naman he went from stills to video, so baliktad, but
Yeah.
what can you expect? That's Paco Guerrero, going against the grain again. But yeah, it's
actually when I was starting, I mean, I'll be honest. At that time, kasi I was already in my coming onto my 30s. It was too late for me to get back into motion picture like TVCs, which was what I would probably be doing
right.
had I been given the chance. Because that was the dream when we were in film school.
Of course.
Most of my contemporaries, my friends from film school are all working in that industry. So, pero ako, I took a different path. I got into editing early on,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I got good at it, and then I started not enjoying it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I decided, okay, I want to get back to the front end of producing images. So, at that point, parang mahirap na for me to get back.
Yeah.
So, I needed to look at other options.
Okay.
That's why when in recent years, when it was common for photographers to start doing video, I mean, I had a lot of people asking me to do videos. But ako
Wala na. Photo na
ayoko
lang.
na. I mean,
Okay.
I'm very happy with what I'm doing now.
With the
If you
stills,
show
right.
me an editing timeline, I'll throw up. And that's what I keep telling people. I don't want to see an edit. I cannot imagine
Pare.
sitting through an edit.
I feel the same way, pero ako storyboards. When I see a storyboard, I get so stressed.
Diba?
It's hard, super hard. But it's interesting because when I went out of it, and then I still do vlogs, obviously, so I'm still producing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that kasi it's more fluid, and I really don't have to answer to a certain, wala akong agency mag-check ng boards ko or whatever. I guess it feels more comfortable. So I guess I am establishing a sort of limit. O sige, mag-video ko pero ito lang, mga live online talk shows like this one or ano. But but that's one thing, no. But I haven't ruled out going back to video. But it feels like I'm more comfortable with stills, and I'm sure that's how you feel as well, right now. Okay, so so here we go. I want to talk about this next project, Jason, and I would say this would be a very interesting project to talk about, if not polarizing. No, so can this one? I distinctly remember this poster actually. This cover when it came out. So, can you take us through how it all started and then leading up to this? Because I know you have a lot of stories about this project and the shooting behind it.
Actually,
so take it away.
Okay, so I got the email probably around January or Feb na, we're scheduling a shoot.
Sorry, what year is this so that everyone has context on the
2015.
2015.
Uh,
2015,
na, and it
a
was
year before the
building up
elections.
into the campaign. So at that time na hindi pa nga raw siya tatakbo, di ba? So, I mean, okay, sige. So I get this email from Esquire na, oy, we're doing a feature on Duterte. Can you shoot him? We're going to fly out to Davao, etc. etc. I'm sure, yeah. I'd love to, ganyan, Feb. Mga January yan. So, forgot about it. Tapos, I was in art fair. Right? This is February art fair. Remember, and at this time, 2015, 2016, I was very busy shooting for magazines and clients in Hong Kong. I used to be in Hong Kong almost every month.
Okay.
I'd spend a week and a half there and then fly back. Sobrang busy ang time na yan. So, it was one of those rare opportunities. I was out with the family. We're in art fair. Walking around. Oh, ganda. Relax. And then from a distance, I see Erwin. Tapos sigawan nga lang kami kasi daming tao. We didn't even come together and say hi. He just says, oh, bukas ha? Ay, anong bukas? Sabi niya, gagong bukas. Lilipad tayo. Papuntang ano. And this was a Sunday. This was about a Monday. If I remember correctly, Monday. And on that Monday, I was scheduled to fly out to Hong Kong for a shoot.
Okay.
So parang, holy shit. Sabi ko, ano talaga? So I had to check nasira na. The time we're supposed to spend in art fair, wala na. Parang, uwi na tayo. I have to check my emails kung tama ba. Am I going to fight with Esquire for not coordinating properly, etc., etc. I have to rebook my tickets. I have to check with the client in Hong Kong. What hassle! So, apparently tama. I missed it completely. I thought we were shooting ng March, Feb pala. Something like that. So, I had to cancel everything and I had to prep. I had to call Jeeb, my assistant. Jeeb, may shoot tayo bukas na pala yun. I'm usually very good at scheduling. It's one of the few times na medyo nagulo lang talaga ako. But anyway, so hindi ka na hindi ako makapag-shoot. But of course, I was gonna let that happen. I made sure na naayos ko yung Hong Kong, ma-move ko siya. But I really wanted to do the shoot.
Why?
So, well, at that time kasi I was doing a lot of covers for Esquire. And prior to this, Erwin and I were already having discussions about how to shoot it and why it might come out really well, and it was an interesting proposition to shoot him. I didn't know much about him aside from what we knew about him during those times. Na what? Bakal na kamay ng Davao,
Yeah.
Dirty Harry. I mean, that's it. That's all we knew. Parang shady but highly romanticized image of a what would you call him? A warlord, what would you call him? Parang ganun siya, di ba? He had his own kingdom in Davao. So, parang and actually the peg of Erwin here was Apocalypse Now, which is tama, dude.
Okay.
Diba?
Yeah.
He was the lord of his jungle.
Right.
So, let's go. So, okay, so tuloy kami. So, fly out, harass. So, when we get there, ang weird, I have this thing about, my dad's from Zamboanga, so I go to Zamboanga quite often. I mean, before. But there's certain parts of Mindanao that are, I guess it's closer to the equator, that the sun is just different.
Okay.
I have that perception of it. I might be wrong, but that's how it feels. Mainit. Tsaka iba yung angulo. It's very harsh. It's very stark. High contrast light. So, immediately, yun yung impact sa akin. Medyo na iba yung pakiramdam ko pagdating doon. And then, once off the plane, very cursory lang yung daan namin dun sa airport, because we were already picked up in a van by the mayor's men, no? Boom, bilis. Walang yung sinasabi na speed limit sa Davao, para sa ordinaryong tao yun. Pero, kami, wala kaming speed limit doon, wala kaming stoplight.
Yeah.
Diretso. We're taken to this resort. I think it was called Eden. Very, very nice place. Up in the mountains, about an hour out. Tapos, check-in kami doon. Maganda yung lugar. We were given houses. Ako, I had a small house to myself. Nearby, Erwin had a small house by himself. Ako pala
Okay.
kasama ko yung assistant ko, Steve. So, pero this was in a forest. So, medyo remote siya. It's a really nice place. And then around 7, I mean, yeah, we were told na, okay, freshen up, relax a bit, but we'll have dinner with the mayor.
Okay.
Okay. So, 7, balik kami sa city. Tapos, we were brought to this restaurant. I forgot what it was called, but it's a steakhouse.
Okay.
Parang very Italian yung dating. Basta parang siyang Italianis na ng Davao. Parang gano'n na lang.
Okay.
But more less family oriented actually. Basta ano lang siya. Anyway, so when we get there, it was just us. We were ushered to a table, and then there's this other table lang with a lady and her daughter, and that was it. Walang ibang tao. So kami, hintay 7, 8. Wala. Late si Mayor. Tapos kami ni Erwin, Yossi tayo. Kasi nag-Yossi pa ako that time.
Yeah.
Are we really going to risk it? Nag-Yossi tayo? Sige, basta magtago lang tayo. Sige, labas kami. Hanap kami, lakad kami sa kalsada. We looked for a dark corner. Started smoking there. Kwentuhan. Okay, so balik na tayo. Sige, balik na kami. Wala pa rin. Tambay-tambay pa rin. Kwentuhan. Paano kaya si Mayor? Paano ba? Paano tayo bukas? So we're planning naman while waiting. And then, so after 2 hours of waiting, we don't mind parang we're used to it. So, maybe even 3 hours eh. Basta late na talaga. Parang late. Dating si Mayor, man. Tapos, I kid you not, and you can ask Erwin, dude, cue soundtrack ng Godfather. Ganon. May music.
Alam mo yung restaurant ka in my head is the Italian restaurant in Godfather when you were describing it eh.
Yeah,
yung first
ganon,
one
ganon.
eh.
Just a bit better lit, but
It's the
kung saan
same.
niya binaril yung dalawa.
Yung mom and pop na Italian. Yeah.
Pasok si Mayor. Buo kayo. So, yan na, andyan si Mayor. Maya, yung babae tsaka yung kid from the other table sits with us. It's Hanilet. That's Hanilet the whole time.
Wow.
And the first thing she tells Mayor is, nagsigarilyo sila. I mean, hindi naman siya galit or anything, pero nagsigarilyo sila. Parang tagal mo kasi, parang ganyan. And kami parang, oops. And then, kasi syempre una na-shock kami na si Hanilet na pala yun. And we're talking like we didn't care. We were talking about Duterte at that time. And so, siya naman, hindi, okay lang. Basta wag lang magpapakita. Parang gano'n yung script niya. Basta wag dun lang sa mga areas na designated. And so, okay, dinner, kwentuhan. To his credit, man, at that time, the guy was, honestly ako, I was very interested to talk to him, meet him. Kasi, at that time, naniniwala ako na, kulang ng disiplina yung Pilipino. Right?
Okay, yeah.
We're fed up with the traffic,
right.
So, and okay, maybe this guy has a solution. We should actually kind of give him the chance and listen to what he has to say.
Yeah.
Total, what he did for Davao, diba? That was the perception.
Yeah, that was a selling point also.
And actually, dude, it was it was good. I mean, I can't say pleasant because you're talking about killing people and parang enforcing the law brutally, killing kidnappers. So I can't say it was pleasant, but I would say the guy almost kind of made sense. Right? So, okay, kwento. Okay. Tapos, tinawag niya yung parang waiter. Ilabas mo yung yung picture ko dyan. He wanted to show me a photograph
Okay.
of himself, a portrait. Kasi we got around to talking about how we wanted, what our ideas were
Right.
for shooting him. So, he just wanted to give a peg.
Nag-art director si Mayor. Okay. Okay.
Happy to, interesting, di ba? Parang,
Of course, yeah. Oh.
So,
You wouldn't
out comes
expect
this
that,
frame.
no?
Siguro mga 8 by 10 or, hindi, mga 11 by 14.
Okay.
It looks like it was a black and white, but it was him with the rifle with his foot on the head of a huge bamboo damo. Laki talaga, gigantic. So ganun yung trophy shot.
Mm.
So yun, parang sabi niya, ito parang as far as he was concerned, okay kung ganito.
Oo, yeah.
Okay, sige.
Yun yung tema nyo, okay.
No, taken. Sige,
Okay.
sir, okay yan, okay. And we started talking about yung mga ailments niya, yung pag gumaganyan siya, masakit ang ulo niyan. So, medyo bilisan mo na. So, may mga ganong cues na I guess he wasn't really telling us na how to act around him. But parang he was very open about how he is and how he might feel about certain things na kumbaga parang sige, di umanggulo ka na ng tama para hindi na kayo magka-problema. But he was that kind of person. He would say what he wanted to say with very little regard to what you might think.
Right.
And at that time, if you contrast that with your politicians that you're used to na who would say anything just to get your vote, parang you could look at it as refreshing.
Yeah.
Right? So, all in all, very good vibe. And then, maya siguro towards alas 12, siguro, sa nila, sige na, uwi na kayo. I mean, in a nice way,
Yeah.
Parang, sige na, magpahinga na kayo, gabi na. Okay, paalam. Yes, sige po. Pagkaalis na pagkaalis, gusto mo ba mag-birams? Kasi mahilig siya kumanta. Yun yung sinasabi nila, di ba? There's this, I forget what it's called eh. There's this bar that he frequently goes to where he likes to sing.
Okay.
So he wanted us to come with him, inuman, kantahan. So parang sabi ko, sakto, masarap magawa ng litrato dito.
Okay.
Either for personal or backstory, whatever it is, diba? But unfortunately, parang we're too professional. And I would have to say it was Erwin. So Erwin, pasensya ka na, lalaglag kita. Si Erwin kasi gusto na umuwi. kasi we had to work on the shoot for the next day.
Okay.
At the same time, where we were staying was an hour away pa.
Right.
So we didn't know what time we would finish. We wanted to make sure that we were able to work the next day. So even up to now, kami ni Erwin were saying, dapat pinuloy natin, bahala na. Oo, parang whatever it is, it could have been nothing, but parang it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
That to be granted yung ganong access to him. Kasi he even invited us to, he has this lodge eh. Diba, he's shown that before. He has a hunting lodge up in the mountains. He goes to it by helicopter. Sabi niya, punta tayo dyan, daling ko kayo dyan, mag-shoot kayo doon. Wala lang talaga sa oras, pero ganun siya ka-open about yung mga ginagawa niya. It was all interesting for me as a photographer. Okay sana na context. So yun, unfortunately, we had to call it a night. Nagpaalam na kami. Siya nga parang, talaga? Uwi na kayo? Parang ganun yung vibe eh. Hindi, Mayor. Kasi mag-ayos pa po kami bukas. Yung shoot niyo po hapon, pero umaga, kailangan na mag-ocular.
Game naman siya. Okay.
So, okay, sige. Paalam na kami. So, the next day, yung shoot na. So, okay, so, ito medyo hindi na kwento. Yung about work na.
Yeah.
About the foot.
No, but it's interesting kasi you were telling me before na it's like a one non-stop story siya from the moment you landed until you left.
Dude, tuloy-tuloy
so,
talaga.
yeah, go ahead. But, sige, tell us more about the shoot and then kung may mga maalala ka, just roll with it.
Ito more for yung mga photographers, yung technical. the whole shoot revolved around this shot, the
Okay.
cover shot.
So this was
Um,
pre-planned na. This one with
yes.
okay.
We want Erwin wanted to. Yun nga, again, Apocalypse Now yung peg. There's a visual of uh, what's his name?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando surrounded by children. A
Mm.
black and white photo.
Yeah.
So okay, we know the context. We know why you want to do it that way. So the first thing I needed to do was transfer that into something that we can reproduce but not copy.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi ako, I hate that eh. Whenever I have to do something, whenever I think of a visual, um, I avoid looking for similar references because I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to make sure that whatever I produce doesn't look like anything else.
Yeah.
So I managed to do that somehow. I don't know how, but it happened. So anyway, with this cover, it had to be may mga technical may mga technical considerations. One, we're shooting outdoors, hapon. So the things I knew I needed to do was to find a spot where I can stack them together this way.
Okay.
So it wasn't a flat surface. Parang yung maliit na stream.
Parang may
Where I
bangin.
was standing was a stream, too big. Pero hindi mo malalim. But that gave me a way to shoot from below
Right.
and angle it upwards. Now, you will see that, I mean, sa notes ko na to eh. I had to make sure that the sun, I had to find a place na at that time, 4 or 5 p.m., the sun would be behind them.
Okay.
So I would have those, sa cover muna tayo. So I would have the lights on their shoulders, yung highlights na yan.
Yeah.
I needed that eh. Kasi I knew I would darken them almost to the point of maging backlit sila.
Okay.
That way, I can highlight yung si Duterte in the middle using one light.
Right.
I had a gridded light, a B1, being held by my assistant. Halos si Duterte lang tatamaan.
Okay.
So that's why, around Duterte, Duterte here is very well lit. I would say, parang may drama yung lighting niya. But everyone around him, wala.
Yeah.
So yung attention, yung mata mo, nasa kanya lang talaga.
Yeah.
So, yun yung, given na it was an outdoors, very quickly you had to plan, you had to be ready for it. It was, we were very fortunate na everything fell into place. Na lahat kaming lugar na gano'n, and
Yeah.
the timing, the lighting was good. Nakakatawa lang dyan kasi when we got there, nauna tong mga boys they were collected from an area around lang. And when we got there, before we even got there, nagdudungis sila, hindi namin alam kung bakit. They're smearing themselves with cooling, putik, na, sige, actually okay okay siya.
Pero bakit? Why were they doing that?
Well, I don't know who cued them on that It wasn't necessary.
Okay.
Parang, I don't know, maybe the person who got them together told them na, magano kayo magtanggal kayo t-shirts, magdumi-dumi kayo. But none of that came from me or Erwin.
Yeah.
Parang, when we saw it, parang okay So okay lang. Huwag na natin sila palinisin. Okay na yan. So that was the cover. That was the very first shot. Kasi yun yung pinaka-importante. We need to make sure na we had the strong enough image for the cover.
Did he come with that rifle?
Oh yeah. He had the selection of rifles we could choose from. So he knew. It was we wanted him with a gun, with that jacket, specific jacket. Not the watch though. Eventually, parang nagkaroon ng issue with that watch. Later on, when people were claiming na simpleng tao lang siya, and people were pointing out, no, that's a very expensive watch.
Yeah.
So anyway, at that time we didn't even pay attention to the watch.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the cover, then we had the option to do other visuals. So in the same area before we started moving on to the other shots.
Yeah.
But I had him sit down somewhere, light him the same way. One light with a grid. i-plug ko lang, I'm using Flow Photo kasi. And at that time, this system talaga was really revolutionary talaga. Ang ganda ng system. You can control the light, very reliable, magandang light.
Yeah, that's what you use in Shutter Space.
Yeah. So, there's this other shot, the one with him, medyo, ito, I like this. This was used also in the magazine. I like these images. Sige ba? Okay. Yan, okay. Ito medyo sumikat to kasi pinagtatawa na lang ilong niya dito eh. I mean, the right now is being ridiculed for that, right?
Yeah, and because of the lighting kasi, all the details come out, the texture.
Yeah. Ito, this was memorable to me kasi I was shooting with maybe a 28 mm lens, I think. So I was really close. I was trying to make it look a bit more grotesque. Yung proportions. That's why I was up close. And it was Erwin who was parang, uy, Jason, gumaganon siya sa akin. I just kept shooting lang, ganyan. Didn't really mind. Until I realized that the barrel was right beside my head na. Kasi you don't see it eh.
Yeah. Nakatingin sa viewfinder.
Oh! So, tapos yun, parang nakakatawa lang na actually when you start shooting, you don't realize it but because you're so focused on what you're seeing in the frame, right?
You lose your situational awareness.
Zero talaga. So it pays to have people around you telling you what's happening outside of the frame. Right. There was I'm sure I wasn't in any real danger, but even then, parang you never want to be in the front of a barrel of a gun.
Yeah. So it's interesting though, Jason, that you're saying that he's ridiculed by this, by his nose here, but at the same time, kasi the lens, do you sort of try to justify it or not naman defend it, no? Pero but I was using an 18, so the distortion really made it, exaggerated the feature.
Well, I don't know if I have any real issue with that kasi. Parang mga ganyang features, mga criticisms.
Yeah.
I hate it when people say na, ay, pangit ako pag ganyan. As a portraitist, parang you take all of that into account and it doesn't really, in the grand scheme of things, that's who you are as a person. So I'm not going to hide that.
Yeah.
So if that's what the camera is giving me, I'll take it. So hopefully you don't feel too bad about it or you don't get, parang ridiculed for it, because I think that's unfair din naman.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Despite his politics, parang you can't go after him by calling him out on his nose, right?
That's true.
ang senseless eh.
We have a comment from Jilson Chu. He's saying, best portrait of Duterte, a premonition, no? And I was saving this question from VJ Villafranca. Of course, it's gonna come from VJ. Is portraiture political?
I don't even know what that means.
I said I was gonna avoid asking this, pero wala VJ asked it. But yeah, do you think portraiture is political? VJ, can you clarify? Is that for the product itself or for the photographer itself? So let's wait until VJ qualifies his question. No? But but during the whole shoot, I want to play this sort of video when it's a very short video of you taking the photo. And how was he the whole time? Very cooperative, or was he like a rush, or was he more like, you know what? Let's explore more options. This is, I know.
No, he's not that. He's not that engaging. He's not gonna. What do you call this? But he's not naman like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. It's not like that. But he's...
Yung art direction niya, yung peg na lang. Yun na lang pinakita niya ng dinner.
You're supposed to have gotten it from there. That's enough. No, I mean, the whole time, he would be very quiet and patient. He would sit around with people around him in Bisaya. So hindi ko alam kung if he's making fun of you, he's making fun of the imperialist Manileños, who can't understand what he's saying. We don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as I was concerned and the team was concerned, he's very pleasant.
Right.
Actually, during the shoot, my main concern was I realized he was an old guy. He can trip and stumble on uneven terrain.
Yeah.
He can get tired. He
Yeah.
can get uncomfortable. So those are concerns that we should have na for everyone or anyone you're photographing anyway, right? And no special ano naman, you didn't need to give him special treatment. And it never felt like he was demanding that. To
Right.
his credit, ha? So, walang, walang problema. I mean, kami nga ni Erwin, when we talk about it now, and this was one of the funnest shoots you've ever been on, we can't feel bad about it, despite how it is now, no?
Yeah.
With him in government, in the presidency. Because when we were shooting him in this period, whatever this image or the article written about him, however that contributed to his rise, it was done at a time when everything was cool. Okay naman siya eh.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we didn't know what we're getting into, right?
Right.
So at that time,
Premonition
parang
lang.
ano, oh, and even now, parang, I have my politics, but it doesn't stretch to yung experience ko with the shoot.
Okay.
It doesn't tarnish that experience.
So,
So,
VJ clarified it already, Jason. So, he's asking in general, is portraiture political as a practice?
holy shit, Gage, hindi ko pa rin maintindihan.
Let's say, as far as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, VJ. No, did your politics influence the way you
if
shot
that's
it?
the question, absolutely no.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Uh, if you were going to let your politics play, it starts at your choice in the beginning to take on the assignment or not.
Right.
Okay, as that's for me. If I didn't like the guy's politics, if I wasn't supportive of it, simula pa lang, wag na, diba? Wag na lang.
Mm-mm.
So, in this case, like I was saying, yung panahon na to, wala pa akong problema dun sa politics niya. In the same way na after this, I also did a shoot with Grace Po. Wala na akong problema sa politics at the time. Mga ano yan eh, mga presidentiables yan eh. That Esquire was doing a feature on. I had no problems with that as well. Kay Binay, I was asked to do Binay but I wasn't available for it. But wala rin akong issue nun at that time. I would have done it as well. So,
I see.
Kasi what do you mean? Kasi if you take on the assignment and you start getting political on the shoot, what's that mean? Defocado yung shot?
Yeah.
Pangito mo yung lighting?
Yeah, but
I
at the
don't
same
know,
time,
I might
kasi
not
I get what you're saying, but there's also another part of it. The way the themes in kasi that you use also influences a certain aligns with a certain view or perception of that person, right? So I guess that's what VJ is saying in general. Does portraiture affect that? Does it reinforce a particular perception of a person politically, and does that come from the photographer as well? I guess it's up to the photographer to amplify that or to sort of change that. I think that's what he's trying to go for.
Yeah. Honestly, I still don't. I mean, I said what I said about it. I think if you're going to be political about your photography, you have to have really, parang harsh lines drawn. So if you accept the shoot, then
right then and there, that's it.
Wala mo ng politics yan.
Yeah.
I mean, ibig sabihin, okay ka or you accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
But I think mas and when you say na I don't ever want to think that there was any real big influence brought about by the images to bring him to his rise. No? I mean, maybe a little, maybe it made him look more, parang cool, I guess. But hindi naman siguro ganun kalaking influence. If anything, I think ang danger is, when you photograph people like him, you forget na these are these are master manipulators. These are politicians. Mas malaki pa yung danger na ma-influence ka nila, yung views mo, versus yung ma-influence ng photography mo, yung views ng tao sa kanila.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
You get what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yeah. That's
So, and this is very, very, I remember distinctly because going home, yung from the restaurant ng gabi, of course, ako, si Erwin, and I forgot to mention si Rika. Luxin, siya yung tumutulong sa amin, and she was a managing editor at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We're all very giddy about the experience with Duterte, right? The long drive up back to the resort in the mountains. We were talking, and then I remember, since kainom kami, tabi muna tayo, jingle. Kasi isang oras jingle kami ni Erwin. Tapos sabi niya na sa akin, dude, be careful, don't be seduced. So that's when it struck me na mas malakas sila mag-influensya kaysa sa'yo. So, baka nga, if you're not careful, you're the one being played, dude.
Yeah.
So you thought your photography was parang influencing people's views on the politician. Actually, hindi. Baka nga, ikaw, nagiging messenger ka pa nila.
Right.
Yun pala, yung gusto lang imaging nila lumabas through you, hindi mo napansin.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very important to me na, okay, tama. I have to be careful.
Okay, so from Paco Guerrero, before this, Mabel de Mavivas, quote-unquote, Duterte signs anti-terrorism bill news just came out as you guys are discussing about him.
He did!
Yeah. Yeah. From Paco, how important is it for a photographer to work with an EIC or art director that supports your ideas?
Wow, I haven't had an experience wherein I had the difficulty I see. And in the case of the ones I worked a lot with, si KF, and of course, si Erwin, si Castaneda, sino pa ba? Lahat yan, actually, magaling na tao that I looked up to. At the same time, genuinely felt na they had that belief also na they were working with you kasi they like your work na, and they were open to whatever ideas na you had or whatever contribution you could give towards yung formation ng image.
Yeah.
So, sa akin, no question about it. You have to be working with people who are supportive and have a belief. In the first place, hindi ka na mag-shoot pag hindi ka nila pinili.
Right.
So yeah, wala pa akong naging experience sa ganun.
Okay, that's good at least. Okay, so that is that for that set, and Gilson is saying sobrang serendipity daw that happened, no? For you guys who are joining us right now, welcome to Behind the Shot with Jason Quibilan, and that was a very interesting and ganda ng stories, Jason, no, from that shoot. So yeah, if you're on YouTube, please do like and subscribe to our channel. Like the video, it's a very interesting discussion, and it's good to watch on replay over and over again. And of course, follow Jason Kabilan on Instagram, and as well as Noel Guevara Photo, so you can see most of our work there. Let's get to the sorry, there's a question here from Alfonso Calero. If you went to the beer house, do you think you would have shot differently or changed your creative and technical plans? Or would you have stuck to the mission?
Yeah, actually, since it wasn't planned, had it happened, it would have given me probably more a personal glimpse, a more intimate glimpse of him. Now, wasn't wasn't in the concept. So I doubt if we could have gotten something useful out of it.
Right.
In terms of yung for the magazine, kasi baka hindi siya publishable. Kasi wala sa usapan eh. Pero I'm sure I would have gotten images that I would have loved to keep.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
So it wasn't part of the plan or the process. But alam mo, again, no, very the right after the shoot, siguro mga may araw pa, mga 6 or 7. I remember we were in our room, in
Yeah.
our house, no, and Erwin was there pacing, and we are going through the images, and as soon as we decided on the image, no, crop shot to the magazine proportions, and then we put in the Esquire title on top,
Yeah.
cover.
That's
Tapos
it.
kaagad.
Yeah.
And we started emailing na yung people in Manila. O, ito yung cover. Okay ba? Okay ba? Ganyan, ganyan. But that's the
Na-excite na
only
kayo. Yeah.
cover. Oo, na-excite kami kasi alam namin yun na eh.
Mm.
And most of the time, ganun nga eh. Nasanay na kami, Erwin, na hindi na natapos yung shoot na hindi namin sarado yung cover. Kita na talaga namin where it was going, and happily enough, it's always na natatapos na it's exactly where we want to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes even more.
Galing.
So, but it's so the sobrang bantay ni Erwin to. He even told me na, even gave me access na, dude, if you want to check yung color, yung color, and we're talking about black and white photo, right? But to check, make sure that it comes out right,
Yeah, the tones
you
are
can go
good.
to the printing press and monitor, which I did. 2 or 3 times I was there. So yeah, masaya tong cover na to.
Oo, super ano.
Be happy kami dyan.
Tama si Gilson, Best Portrait of Duterte, A Premonition. From Carol Peña, hi Jason, so guwapo. Okay.
Hi, Carol.
So it all takes an interesting turn when you sent me these photos for your art now. We're a bit going over time right now, but very quickly, Jason, I want to
Yeah.
I want to pick your brain on why you made that shift now from all those portraitures, all those commercial work, and then suddenly now you're gearing up towards art photography.
All right. The interest in shooting editorial for me personally kind of started waning when print stopped.
Okay.
Importante sa akin yung print. I want to be able to hold my work, gloss through pages, etc. So, yung digital na siya, parang hindi na ako ganun excited to shoot. And then, yun nga, and then the magazines started going all online and
Yeah.
then stopped na totally. So, natapos na yung editorial. And editorial shooting granted you certain freedoms that you don't get working commercial, right?
Yeah.
So, I needed a way to keep on shooting without having the pressures of, making sure that my images were approved, right? And basically shooting for yourself. A lot of photographers I know carry cameras all the time. When they travel, they have nice travel photos, even if they're food photographers. You know, so unfortunately for me, I don't do that. Most of my leisure shoots are done on the phone and been posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? But so when it's serious shooting, when I say serious, something that I take seriously.
Right.
Not
necessarily an
work.
assignment. Okay.
But pag seryoso camera.
Yeah.
It comes, I mean, I enjoy the technical aspect of the work kasi.
Right.
So photography for me, as far as it's art, it's still heavily technical for me.
Okay.
I'm very old school like that. So.
And you were telling me you're not married to your camera. You don't.
Oh, absolutely not. They're all tools. I love my camera. I buy cameras for the way they look.
Mm-hmm.
I buy cameras for the way they feel or the colors they give you. But the work dictates what camera I use.
Okay.
It's never going to be the other way around. I remember, but I'm very jealous of people who can do that. I remember when the X100 came out, Paco had this vlog of 100 images on the X100. Man, I could not do that. I would love to do something like that, but the concept and the execution finds it up for me.
Okay.
So, but when it comes to individual, yung attention to detail, yung challenging myself on a technical level, yan, that appeals to greatly. So in this series, up until now, no, but more back then, I was heavily into sci-fi. mga tube amps. I was starting out sa mga tubes.
Yeah.
So I found the tubes to be very interesting because
Okay.
I couldn't explain how something like that would affect sound, and be so mechanical, and parang it's just interesting for me.
Yeah.
So I started doing macros of them because I thought it was something that very few people see,
Right.
and if done the way I thought I could do it, it would become interesting for other people as well. So,
And
and
seems
then
like a
the
very
the
technical shoot also, while looking at it.
yeah, well, yeah, in particular these ones kasi ano yan glass.
Mm-hmm.
Medyo mahirap siya ilawan. And then these are and then I started getting into negatives and versions ganyan. And I still somehow parang I still find objects that I want to treat this way.
Okay.
Hence, I started moving into X-rays, which is what I worked on with yung art fair prints namin. You have it here, yung mga isda. Those are X-rays naman. I have yan. Those are X-rays. I
Okay.
happen to have access to a very good friend of mine who has a clinic that has an X-ray machine. So it so happens they're artists also. So they're very excited with the idea of me producing images with their X-ray machines. Ang dami magandang story niyan kasi it turns out their family business was also about dried fish.
Right.
Tuyo. So they gave me all the tuyo I needed
For that shoot.
to test on. So sobrang happy.
Galing, eh.
So,
And then, how did this? Was this your the sort of inspiration or what motivated you to have the shelter fund art?
yeah, yun nga. Kasi nagkataon, dahil sa art fair, art fair showed us that print was something that the Filipino market was ready for.
Okay.
Before that, we were not too sure
Mm-hmm.
because these things sold for 65, 80, 120, 175,000. We weren't sure people were ready for that.
Right.
Happily, it seems like they were. That's what art fair did. They exposed yung photography to a bigger market.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it gave the print here, yung legitimacy that it needed.
Okay.
Prior to that, kasi medyo hirap talaga. We've done prints in Art in the Park,
Yeah.
but there's a ceiling there, and we rarely sold at the price that we felt the prints needed to be at. So art fair kind of changed all that.
Okay.
So yun din yung nagpalakas ng loob namin to pursue shelter fund. Aside from the need, we felt na this was a good opportunity for Filipino artists, photographers, to start selling their work to that market.
Yeah.
The market that new market that we stumbled on, partly in art fair and partly now reinforced by shelter fund photo and shelter fund art.
Right.
Because shelter fund photo, okay, for the first time we revealed it, sold close to 800 prints.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, when we started out, we thought that we would be happy with 100 prints. Because that's what we were, okay, given the time to produce a print,
Yeah.
have someone sign it, come over, package it. 100 was a lot.
Yeah.
It would take us weeks to process that. Checking, payments, shipping, printing. So 800 prints was wow, that's a lot of work. Up until now, we're shipping out. We're still having some photographers, since not everyone's that comfortable coming out yet. They're having a hard time inviting photographers to sign.
That's me. I haven't signed my print.
We totally understand. We have no problems with it. But
No,
we
I
want
might go
also
there tomorrow to sign it.
Yeah. But we want the market to understand also na, parang we appreciate your support. We hope you give us more time to, because we also want to make sure that we don't want to ship the prints to you right after someone signed it.
Yeah.
Right? We want to give it a couple of days to disinfect. So when it gets to you, it's safe.
Yeah.
So that adds to the production time.
Of course. And 800 prints,
Anyway.
The volume is just
Oh,
it
dude.
compounds.
Shelter fund art came close to that as well.
Wow.
So that's another. I think we're at 700 prints. And we're starting production this week.
But tapos na rin yung ano no, Shelter Fund art is also done, right? So you only
Yep,
had a limited run.
finished nung June 30.
As a sort of wrap up for that, what are your plans for Shelter Fund now after these two?
All right. A lot of people have told us kasi to continue.
Mm.
So we're talking with fortunately, parang we have a lot of friends who support us, who are in the art world. We're willing to lend a hand talaga. So we're looking at a few exhibitions between now and the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're probably opening up a gallery. We're in a mainstay for limited edition work,
Yeah.
where photographers and artists can still continue contributing
Nice.
work
Yeah.
and selling their work.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we start. The dream is, if we're artists and photographers, if half of our income that we feel we need to sustain us properly can be derived from selling our work and not shooting for a living,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Of course.
I think
yeah.
that would be great.
Definitely.
So it gives us a viable output, viable something that would sustain us and keep us happy at the same time.
Yeah, and not to put a value on it, because what happens also is that it maximizes the man hours you put into an image, right? So the more you sell it, the more prints you do, the more it helps you, then better. No, you don't have to keep on shooting all the time. So that is the dream,
parang,
Jason.
Hopefully, people start. I mean, us artists, photographers, we start really producing for print.
Yeah.
Not just parang a lot of the work. Like, for example, my tubes. So these were part of an earlier work. So I want people to start thinking in terms of having to produce something on a regular basis to sell.
Yeah.
Not just selling off photographs I took from previous projects.
Yeah.
Nice as it might be, parang we want to give it a certain I guess a patina, yung parang serious work na diba?
Yeah.
Meant to be sold.
Right.
Diba?
Okay.
So,
okay.
Meant for art talaga.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for that, Jason. For me, it was a big honor to be part of Shelter Fund photo at the very least. No? And looking forward to participating even more for your future projects. Now, for those fellow photographers who are currently having a hard time with the current situation, is there anything that you want to say to them, advice you want to give them as a sort of a wrap up for this episode?
Well, there's always going to be Shelter Fund.
That's good to know.
Shelter Fund is always going to be very inclusive. So it's not people are there because they're the main what do you call it, requirement is that you really need to make a living out of your images.
Yeah.
If that's how you are, that's how you make a living, then you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. We've had people ask to be part of Shelter Fund because they want to sell work from a previous exhibit that didn't sell.
Yeah.
We tell them, no, this is not the venue for it.
Right.
But so if you're a creator, you're an artist, keep on producing and we'll find ways we'll try to help you sell it.
Yeah.
So Shelter Fund is starting to become like an artist distributor. That's the thing we're trying to define for it right now. We're helping artists distribute their work in a way that will not make it hard for them or have them invest heavily in it. And for also to tap or to allow that work to be seen by a larger market.
Right.
You don't have to know a gallery or to be in a gallery or to go to a gallery to see the work. It's always just gonna be there.
Jason's your agent. Yeah. That's what happens. All right. Okay, Jason, and that is the end of our episode. And grabe yung mga stories mo sa lahat ng mga projects mo.
Nag-overtime tayo, bro.
No, it's fine. Kulang na lang nga beer para okay na inuman kwentuhan siya. So, guys, this is Jason Quibilan, and as you can see, he kind of went through the gauntlet with all of his work, no? And I have to say that third set, no? Tamas, I have to agree with Gilson. That was still politics aside, that was for me also the best portrait of this Duterte that I've seen. No, and
Thank you. Thank you.
really resonated. So Jason, thank you very much for joining us today, and of course all the effort that you put into making the notes and giving me all the assets, man. That was I really appreciate that.
Salamat, bro. I mean, it's an honor. I mean, I was um, when we got to know each other, I started looking at ito nga, behind the shot. And, like, oh, okay, mga guests ito ah. So it's so flattering and such an honor to be considered as to be part of it. I want to say thank you also to Tammy David for allowing us
Right.
access to her photos.
Right.
Really nice photos. So maraming salamat. Maraming salamat, bro. I
Thank you.
enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you, Jason.
Congrats.
Unlike all the other, all the other guests, no, for this last episode, I'm not gonna cue you out yet. I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone at the same time, and then I'll just keep you here. So, guys, I don't want to feel lonely, no, saying goodbye to season 1. So I'm gonna keep Jason here with me. So close this episode with me, man. So, guys, this is the 23rd episode of Behind the Shot, and it was my distinct pleasure to have Jason here to wrap it all up. Was really an enlightening episode, and I learned a lot from this guy as well. And you see, that is what Behind the Shot is all about. It's all about sharing inspiration and inspiring others, and also learning a bit. I learned a lot from this episode. And at the same time, helping amplify the work of others, which Jason is also doing with Shelter Fund Photo and Shelter Fund Art. So that is impressive in itself. And also, I want to thank everyone who has been here watching our show, whether it's from episode 1 or joining us for the first time right now. We have Dan Matutina here, Jason. We have AG De Mesa, Paco, and then Jilson also here. Of course, previous guests and VJ and Paco. Guys, thank you for coming onto the show and also for being here for our last episode. Paco is saying season 2 na. AG De Mesa is saying fantastic work with Shelter Fund and amazing stories, Jason. And Maybell De Mavivas, awesome set for season 1. Looking forward to season 2. Dan Matutina saying thanks for sharing. Ganda. So galing ng kwento mo, Jason. That was such a parang inuman siya for a Friday night, no?
Yeah.
Kaya yun. So again, guys, Deity Microphones, I want to say thank you. VJ, thanks also for helping me set this up. And Paco and VJ were actually the ones who helped me sort of lay out the our last week, no, Jason. So that was Shaira. If you look at this here, we had Shaira
R2.
last Monday, and then
Mga
R2,
trabaho.
and then Jason, no. So the seasoned veteran, as Paco said, is Jason Quibilan, wrapping up that episode. So guys, thank you very much for being with us here in Behind the Shot. Thank you for making this happen. And at the same time, I will see you on season 2. I don't know when yet, but it's gonna come. And I assure you it's gonna be as great. Hopefully we'll get the same, caliber of talent like Jason, Paco, and everyone else. So guys, thank you very much. I will see you in season 2. I don't know what to do now pag Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. So, waterworks naman. Hindi. Ayoko. Okay na yan. So guys, Jason and I are saying goodbye to you, and we will see you again soon. Thank you for joining.
Bye. Salamat.
Bye guys. Thank you for joining Behind the Shot.